Toastmaster, fellow members and guests. Muhammad Ali said, "It's lack of faith that makes people afraid of meeting challenges, and I believe in myself." One of the reasons why I joined Toastmasters is because I wanted to challenge myself to become more confident, more convincing, and more comfortable. Many of you are members of Toastmasters because you took up the challenge to improve on your own abilities. When I was a child, I tried 3, 4, 5 times to swim 100 feet in front of a lifeguard if I could go out to the swim platform on our local beach. Those thoughts consumed my thoughts all summer until I achieved that goal. I also enjoy challenges, although they may not be very age appropriate. When I was 10, I decided to take apart our lawnmower. I don't know why I did that. It was running perfectly fine, but I thought that was a cool idea. I watched Happy Days back then. Fonzie was cool. He worked in a shop. He repaired engines too. Well, I was unable to reassemble the lawnmower. And after a few lost parts, neither was my father. I wasn't too happy about that. If something was broke, I wanted to fix it. That is probably why I became interested in math and science. When I was in high school, I went on a mission to reclaim some silver. I had a science teacher that had a Blue Bunny 1-gallon bucket full of this gray, sandy, crumbly leftovers from these experiments that he ran throughout the years. So a friend and I went to a local professor, college professor, and he came up with directions and experiment on how to reclaim the silver. So every day for a month, in the morning before school, during lunch, we made small batches of this experiment because we had to do it in small batches. It was explosive. I think it was silver nitrate or something. That's not good stuff. Well, in the end, we had a silver ingot, a ½ inch thick, and the diameter of a baseball. Unfortunately, my friend was killed in a car accident a year later. So I went back to the school and took a piece of that silver and had a local jeweler make a cross for his mother in his remembrance. I've also taken on physical challenges. One of the ones I've done in the last few years was snowboarding. I felt like the hills were a little too small for skiing in Minnesota, and I wanted a different challenge to keep myself motivated. And I eventually went out west and skied some double black diamonds. And some of these hills are so steep that you have to crawl up to the edge to see down, you know, where you're going and where you're headed. And another challenge that I took on was a very age inappropriate challenge. I was racing motocross when I was 25. And to put that in perspective, you are considered to be in the veteran class when you're 25 or 30. These kids have been racing since they could barely walk. That only lasted a few years. I've been playing volleyball since college. You went to school at the University of Minnesota Morris. There wasn't a whole lot to do around there besides study, hang out with your friends, so I took up some social volleyball. Then when I transferred to the main U at the University of Minnesota here, to further my engineering studies, I tried out for the club team, which was very competitive. You traveled around, and from that point on, almost everything in my life, from my friends, my jobs, my marriage, has a common connection through volleyball. I was hired as an engineering intern out of the University of Minnesota while I was still studying there, and all the candidates had no hands-on experience, just like myself in engineering. Well, the reason that set me apart from everybody else is that the person that hired me played on a volleyball league, and she knew I'd be very beneficial. A friend in my engineering class played volleyball all also that I was on the same team with. And when he interviewed for a job at the current company I work with, the specifics of that job did not fit with what he was looking for. He told me about the job, and then I interviewed and I was hired. So there was another connection through volleyball. And on my 30th birthday, I lived with some friends that I played volleyball with, and we had a large volleyball bonfire party. I invited some friends over, and I met my current wife from a friend that I invited over at that party. And we've been together for 10 years now and happily married. And interestingly enough, I had my roommate who owned the house at the time is married to the friend I invited over, who I played volleyball with, and another one was engaged for a short period of time through that one day, one night. So it's interesting on all this fits together. I also am engaging in new challenges at work. Very successful in my medical sales, top category for many years running in medical and different areas in business growth. And then I also, now I'm taking on a responsibility of global key account management. So I've given away all my clients, taken on a new challenge, it's a new direction for our company. So that's a little scary for me, but it's a challenge I'm willing to accept. I'd like to finish with a quote from Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. And that's my story.
In the Competent Communicator